It's a little bit informal, but I can do an introduction if you
I
like.
don't want you to do an introduction.
All right, here's Sean the Butterfly.
Hey everyone, hi. Hey gang, welcome. I was wanting to run this webinar because I just thought now would be an awesome opportunity for us to get inspired, because I don't know, there's been so much doom and gloom around, which kind of makes sense in a way, but you know what, in life there's always got to be duality, and it can't always be about, you know, just things being one specific way. So I came up with this analogy for clients early on in the piece, when people were coming to see me filled with anxiety and just dread and shock. And obviously everyone's, you know, sense of certainty had been stripped away from them. And the idea is like, the way it felt is that all our worlds were getting smaller and smaller, and we're being enmeshed by fear, okay, and toilet paper. So I thought to myself, how can we see this differently? Because as a leader, as someone who helps inspire people, I couldn't fall into that trap. And if I'm going to be upfront with you, there was a part of me that was a little bit scared as well. I mean, you know, uncertainty as a business owner. And then I came up with this analogy. This girl was coming to see me, and I was talking to her about, hey, well, why not just think of it as a Corona cocoon? This is the opportunity to actually grow and to become a more resourceful human being. Just like a cocoon protects whatever's growing within it, we now get the opportunity to come out of this, be it a moth, like Darren, or alternatively, a beautiful butterfly like Renee, you know? Yeah, and I can see you there, Renee, looking all, yeah, hey. or we got the other option. Yep, Darren, put that, yep, because that always makes you look pretty, always. Yep, there we go, beautiful. Wearing a butterfly. Or we can come out of this being sloths, okay? Because I think that's the next step from a moth. And I see a few sloths hanging around, not in this group, thankfully, but you know, I'm seeing it out and about. All right, so let's have a really informal conversation today. I see Darren's already, like, you know, muted all of you, you know, but I was actually hoping for like unmutation to be happening today, because, and maybe that will work well, and maybe it won't, but I just think let's have an informal chat. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about, I'm going to be guiding the conversation to a degree, but let's talk about some of the awesome stuff that's actually come out of this whole process for people. So the first question I want to ask you, and then I'll ask Darren to unmute everyone, is like, where's everyone at? You know, and let's be real with each other. Let's not pretend like everything's all good or all bad. Let's just be upfront and real. So whoever wants to go first, who wants to say, where are you at in this whole process in the cocoon? Go for it, King, Tiger King.
Well, you know what happens is people do make a choice. They make a choice whether they're going to embrace the change and move forward, or they hide under their bed with a bottle of scotch, which is okay occasionally, I suppose. But it's about moving forward and making changes and embracing the change, and also finding time for yourself during this. So I've got a piano lesson later today via Zoom. I haven't hit the piano for a while. You know, and I'm connecting to, you know, really good stories online that are positive stories where people are doing things really interestingly to encourage social interaction. The bin isolation group or something on Facebook, where people are taking their bins out dressed as fairies and superheroes, and really having fun with that. You know, Maddie, and doing as much as they can.
What you're describing over there are like butterfly moments and butterfly decisions. Have you had any moth decisions? Like, let's be real. Because I mean, I know, you know, I've swallowed a lot of chocolate in this time as well. So that's probably a bit of a moth, you know, decision or sloth decision.
Yeah. In the first few weeks of this, I put on 5 kilos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
the cameras
I know. I'm beefing up.
Don't stand up. One at a time. All right. Thanks so much, Maddie.
Yeah, but losing weight now. So, you know, it's just about, you know, it is a cycle, but if you can stay positive more often, I think that's good.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm going to just pick people. I'm going to go Nicole. Hey, Nicole in the field of flowers. Hey.
Hi.
Hey, have you had any moth moments?
There's been a bit more alcohol and chocolate eaten lately.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
you're going to be flying into all sorts of things.
Yeah, there's been some down moments, you know, helping businesses close down and all of that kind of stuff has been a bit hard on the emotions, but yeah, I'm looking at it as a positive for me. I've got more time to do all of the things on my list I never got to do before, and I'm going out for walks with my dogs every single day, and starting the morning with meditation, all of that kind of stuff that I've never taken the time or energy to do before.
Stunning. Love it, love it, love it. Hello, Emma Butterfly.
Hello.
Hey, tell us about some of your butterfly sort of moments.
Look, my butterfly moment was very much started off with the moth. So I had every client cancel in the first week when this all sort of started. So I just sort of mothed it up big time. And then that was closely followed by losing the income of the major breadwinner in the family. My husband was made redundant, which had allowed me the freedom to build my business. And we had to jump into action. Funny thing is, 3 weeks on, that me having to go and get a full-time job and actually putting my business in part-time has actually turned out to be kind of almost the most amazing thing, because anybody who's heard me talk about how I build great teams and I love working with leaders, well, all of a sudden I've had to actually live and breathe my own tool.
Yeah.
So everything that I've been doing webinars about, everything I've been doing blogs, and you know, everything I'm sort of trying to work with my clients about, I actually now have to embody. And be as a leader. I've stepped back into the world of supply chain, so I run a distribution centre now for Woolworths, so it's a massive change. It's back to, you know, sort of a flip of 10 years, but I'm loving it because I am able to be that leader and build an amazing team of people, cobbled from chefs to, you know, people who've never worked in warehouses before, and I'm able to live and breathe my creed. And so on the other end of this, I'm actually going to be able to have some real evidence to be able to go out there and share how to be a leader, how to build a great team, how to build an amazing culture in a time of super uncertainty. So go me. I'm really excited.
Everyone, that is so freaking awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, that's just an inspirational story of where you've taken moth moments and then you've inspired yourself and you've stepped up to become a butterfly. And so I guess the lesson behind that is you don't have to be one or the other. And sometimes we're human beings, we may fall into the traps of becoming a bit moth or sloth-like, but what you've done is you've stepped right out of that and become this awesome butterfly for your whole family and community. So inspirational. This is brilliant. So what I wanted to take away from that is I want to just share with all of you a little bit of a model that I got from Tony Robbins quite some time ago, which is all about in life, you know, we're making decisions every day. Okay. And the top 3 decisions that we tend to make is, number 1, what are you focusing on? Okay, because when we're in this cocoon, it's quite easy to focus on the have-nots and the sparsity and you know, how things are taken away from us. But what we can focus on is, which is what Emma's done, which is the opportunity, which is fantastic, stepping up. Okay, so the first decision is, what are you focusing on? Second decision is, what are you making that mean? What meaning are you giving whatever it is you're focusing on? Some people are looking at this corona thing. I know a lot of people that I, you know, speak to and hear from are like on the news all the time and they're listening to all the stats and they're focused on just that. They're not actually seeing opportunity. And obviously that's going to land up in affecting their mindset. So firstly, what are you focusing on? What are you making it mean? And what you've made it mean, from everyone I've heard from thus far, you know, everyone, is that you're now changing it into, here's an opportunity for growth. And then the third decision is, what action are you going to take? So depending on the meaning you're making will then dictate the actions you take. So this is ultimately what you've got to be doing. Focus on what you want to see happening in your world and then take action to become the person you want to be. So what I'd like to do is actually talk to you all about and have some feedback as well, just some really cool tips, okay, for where we need to be at this point in time. Firstly, one of the best things I've found thus far in this journey, if we can call it that, is having some kind of routine in your life. You have to maintain routine, because one of our core needs is safety and certainty. And when that gets stripped from us, that's why we saw people launching into toilet paper tirade, all right? Because they were freaking out that they weren't going to be able to get a basic need. So if you start having more if you start having more routine in your life, you'll actually start feeling a lot more calm and relaxed, okay? So can someone, just one of you, give me a bit of an example of like just a routine you've got going at the moment around exercise or meditate? Oh, Darren's putting up his hand. Yep.
I need to talk. You can't bottle me up for too long.
I know, we tried.
No, because I was becoming a moth and not getting out. I was sitting behind my desk all hours of the day, and then I was putting on weight. I put on 2 kilos moving back to mum's. And I thought, no, I've got to change this. So at 4 o'clock every day, I do, because I'm back in Brisbane where I used to grow up. So I now go for a 1 hour walk around Albany Creek where I live. And yeah, I go through the old school area, like all the houses that I used to go over to with my friends, and trying to remember who used to live where. And I'm doing a school reunion as well. So all the people that still live in the area, I do 1 new person a day that I haven't caught up with in 30 years. Because we had our school reunion last year. So, and I didn't get to go. So I thought, well, let's make it fun and catch up and have a big gossip.
Beautiful. That sounds so cool. So you've got a nice routine going. Carol, go for it.
I just want to say what a godsend Fresh Online is. I mean, look, I have routines around exercise, so I've always been an early morning exerciser, but Fresh Online has just been amazing. I've done more Fresh meetings in the last 2 weeks than I've done, you know, in terms of not my own hub, than I've done in the last 2 years probably, because I'm not having to get up and drive halfway across the city to get there. So having that meeting to get up and give you a really positive boost in the start for your day has been awesome. So Fresh has been a real lifesaver, and you know, I do have some other routines, but that one's been really fabulous.
Absolutely love that. You know, it's funny, when I talk about routine and you're all taking that on board, it's about adding variety to your routine as well. Otherwise, we've got a very strong need for variety. And if you don't have some kind of variety in your actual routines, you're going to get bored, very, very bored. Okay. So what I've taken to doing every morning is I've never ridden my bike more in my entire life. And I'll, when I share my screen with you, I'll show you all. I have a little toy poodle and she comes on a backpack with me. And just a funny story, because there's got to be some humor in all of the stuff that's going on at the moment. We're busy riding down the Yarra River the other day, like alongside it. And I've got her in my backpack, I've got my helmet on, I've got my AirPod Pros, like what Maddie's wearing over there. They're like $400 a bloody thing, right? So anyway, I'm riding down and I'm on my bike. And as I'm going, I see this insect flying towards me and it goes straight into the groove of my helmet. And this thing's going nuts all over my head as I'm riding my bike, right? And I'm doing about 40, 50 Ks an hour. And there are people like back and forward, like other cyclists. And I'm going like this, right? As I'm riding my bike, because this thing's like literally inside my helmet, right? Unbeknown to me, I flick my AirPod Pro right off, not even realizing it, right? And then this little thing comes all the way down to there. And as I go like that, it stings me right by my eye. It was a hornet or a moth, hornet or a wasp. So it was just one of those funny moments where I've had to stop my bike. I've got people shouting at me because like I've got a dog on my back and I'm blocking now all the bikes and everything. I'm scrounging around looking for my, you know, $400 AirPod Pro thing. And I guess what I could have focused on in the moment was the searing pain. But what I really focused was on the hottie who helped me find my little AirPod Pro. All right. Just people came to the rescue and it was awesome. So there's got to be some funny stories out there. So who's got a funny story or something that's happened as a result of Corona, or just something just a bit silly? I'm just going to look for a show of hands. Emma, you look like you've got something there. You're on mute, by the way. Can I unmute Em? Darren?
I just for a little bit of variety and for shits and giggles, I took my cat for a walk yesterday. It's not something we've done for a very, very long time. But it's quite funny because he actually remembered having the lead on him when he was about 3 years old. So he's now 13. and took him out, and he was just prancing around. He was loving it, but it was the funniest thing. Yeah, so cats for walks, it's a bit of variety in my life.
I'm loving that. And that's something that I think other people appreciate as well. People who see you doing that too. It brings a bit of humor to their lives too. Okay, so moving on.
I need to take a video of it and post it.
Please send a video. We want to see it. So do it, please.
We had the opposite. I have to say, I could not get my dog to come out for a walk. He normally loves to go for a walk, but the previous day I'd been for a run with him, Scott had been for a walk with him, Billy had been for a walk with him, and I got up in the morning, called him to come for a walk, and he turned around, he looked at me, and he turned around,
he's like, nah, I'm done.
I'm done.
All right, people. So what I wanted to share, and thank you for your lovely stories, Carol. I love that as well. I want to also talk about diet. All right, because I know, let's hands up if your diet's kind of gone a bit sideways or downwards at some point during this whole thing. Yep. Okay. A lot of us have got. Yep. So I want us to remember that, yeah, there's a lot more opportunity to eat right now, which is fair enough. So don't give yourself a hard time for it. But if you can try and get a bit more protein in your diet, protein-based foods, okay? So when I talk protein, I'm actually talking about, so meat, chicken, fish, eggs, nuts and seeds, also vegetarian sources as well. Brown rice is a protein, quinoa is a protein. You get a lot of protein from tofu. The chickpeas. So make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet, which will stabilize your blood sugar levels. You won't feel those hunger pangs as much, okay? And reduce the amount of carbs, the naughty foods that sometimes we throw into our guts when we're feeling a bit bored, like chocolates and pasta and breads and all that sort of thing. And then include some healthy fats as well, hey? Because we don't put on weight from fat, we put on weight from, and I see Tiger King's having a bit of a giggle. What are you laughing at there, Maddie? Are you resonating with this? Oh, you're on mute, so it doesn't matter anyway. Can't talk. Right.
I was actually just laughing at some of Darren's faces as you were talking.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed that. Not distracting at all, Darren. Not distracting at all, my friend. And then if you can include some healthy fats in your diet, like coconut oil or things like olive oil. And, by the way, butter's not such a bad thing, just saying, all right? It's been debunked. And eggs are not a bad fat either too, just letting you know that if you do eat them. But try and see if you can eat within a certain time frame in the day. We call it 8-16, which is intermittent fasting. Some of you will have heard of it. So what you do is you eat for 8 hours in the day, and then you fast for 16 hours of the day. And what that means is in those 8 hours, even if your diet's not perfect, it will still give you enough fasting time to actually process all that food and to heal, repair, and it's anti-inflammatory. So just be kind to yourself when it comes to the dietary thing at the moment. Okay, this isn't about being ridiculously strict with oneself, or if you're on a mission to actually drop some kilos, be strict, but just be kind, okay? So does anyone want to have a comment on that? Just put a hand up and Darren will unmute you. Anyone at all? Okay. It sounds like we've covered that nicely. All right. What else did I want to talk to you about? This is the perfect opportunity for you to upskill yourselves as well. This is an amazing opportunity to do a bit of self-reflection. As Carol looks at Billy there, she's like, yes, Billy, this is reflection time. I've never done more baking in my entire life, okay? I've actually made my own cheese, I'm glad to say. I've never even attempted it in the past. And it's simple and easy, and I'll give you the recipe at some point if anyone wants it. And I'm actually, my dog, little Charlie, her groomer was in quarantine because she was on some ship somewhere. So I groomed a poodle for the first time. I literally groomed my own dog. And you know what? I think I don't need a groomer anymore, right? I think Charlie wants her back though. So who's going to share something that they've done over this time that's been different to what they normally do? Yeah, Carl's going to share something. Okay, unmute us, Darren.
Well, one thing I would say, which I'm sure there's plenty of other people on here, is I became a full-time teacher this week, which is obviously something, as you can tell, the kids walking back and forth. Sometimes time management comes in to play a lot more than normal, and yeah, it's certainly a new experience, that's for sure.
I'm sure it's been very full on, and I've heard from a lot of my friends with kids and clients as well. It's Yeah, it's been a challenge. Hey, Renee, go for it.
I would love to say that I've had heaps of spare time, but I haven't had any spare time at all. And I've actually probably done not really much billable work for the past 2 weeks. It's been all on the phone to clients and clients' employees, and, you know, probably a bit like Leanne too, probably, you know, in the HR department, HR, payroll, bookkeeping, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to be able to have free time. So sometimes you've got to think yourself lucky that you've got free time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I feel like Megan has something to say. I don't know why.
I always have something to say.
I know, that's why I couldn't believe you being so
right.
quiet.
I'm just dead impressed that people have this extra time and that they're actually using it. I think it's fantastic, because I can honestly say my world has turned to complete shit, and I am spending literally 12 hours a day talking to people who are in pain. Okay. So it's, as you can hear in my voice, today is not a high point. It's tough. It's actually really tough. And the one thing that I've written down on my piece of paper is I actually need to be kind to myself, because I can't solve this for everybody. And I think that's been A, a hard lesson for me, and B, an amazing thing to actually learn and know.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I'm muting myself again now.
So everyone, from what we've just heard from Megan, she's shown absolute vulnerability and shown us that she's actually doing it really tough at the moment, which gives us now an opportunity to really reach out to Megan, which I'll certainly be doing. And Megan, if there's anything that you need from us, please, reach out. But in actual fact, I don't even think you need to reach out. Let's just, as a community, everyone in this meeting, okay? Yeah, let's be in touch with Megan, and let's add some value and some joy to your life, because we all know you to be an awesome human being, and we value and love you, eh? And you are spectacular at what you do as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Gang, only because we've only got like a few minutes left or so, I'm going to go share a screen. Is that okay, Darren? Are we a few minutes left? Okay, I'll share a screen with just some takeaway tips and stuff. So give me a moment. Be so nice if my computer actually came up with the screen that I wanted to share. Hey, give me one. I've got like a full-on presentation over here, and for some reason, okay.
We're all starting to come out of that cocoon with the amount of time it's taking.
Oh, look, tell me about it, my friend. Let me just, give me 1 second. That's so, oh no, this is not good. This is not good. Can everyone still see me? I can't see anyone now.
We can see you.
If I have everyone's attention, I might as well talk about Herbalife, if I may. I've got a great...
I can't see who that is. I've lost like everyone. This is ridiculous. I can't. This is crazy.
Maybe this is teaching Sean a lesson that he should learn to upskill doing Zoom presentations, hey?
Absolutely.
Don't worry about
Let's just give me 1 second. I think, I've got you all back, but let me just see if I can share the screen. Can everyone see the sweat beads on the top of my forehead? Oh, and I had such a beautiful presentation for all of you. Darren, you said if I said share screen, it would come up with my all my pages that were open on my computer, and it hasn't come up with my Canva presentation. So I don't know has anyone got any advice for how I can get my Canva open now?
Fresh
right.
Screen.
If
What's
you
that?
shared your screen, we could help.
Did you
actually? Yeah, I can.
I came back, Renee.
Okay, can you see my? I'm just going to share my desktop with you right now. I hope there's nothing on it that no one should see. Let's go share. All right, let's do that, and then let's see if it actually shares with you when I open up my. That is everyone seeing that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, and I'm just going to move everyone over so I can see it properly. Okay, so essentially this is a choice, everyone, that we're in at the moment. We do have a choice at the moment to become a moth or a butterfly, and I'm going to move that over there. Okay, and let's see, that's 1 second. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so what you focus on will dictate the meaning that you give it, and whatever meaning you give to what you're looking at will dictate an action. So be careful of what you're focusing on right now and take the appropriate action. Takeaway tips: routine. Make sure that there is variety with your routine. Otherwise you will get bored and there will be no more routine and you'll go into sloth-like mode. Healthy diet, higher protein, lower carbs, good amount of healthy fats. And remember that 8-16 rule. It will make all the difference to your waistline coming out of this. Prioritize exercise and meditation. It's so funny, as I read that now, I just wrote prioritize sex and meditation, but I actually do have exercise there, so that's good. So prioritize that and meditation at the moment. And this was me riding my bike the other day.
See a wonderful scenario where man and his pets get to go out and enjoy the world in a different way. Check this out.
I didn't know this guy was filming me.
Here he comes. Morning. Ruff, ruff. Hey. This guy rides around with on his back. Have a good day.
So that's little me and Charlie just making light of, you know, lives and having a good time. We're averaging about 50 kilometers a day at the moment. And if you check out those pins, they've never looked better, my friends. So, yep. Ask me how. Just get a dog and put it on your back and ride your bike. And please, whatever you do, let's not come out of this looking completely like sloths. All right. Let's be beautiful butterflies. So that is a wrap. If I can just unshare that now. Oops. Have I lost everyone?
No.
Ah, okay. All right. Don't know how to unshare that now because I've lost that screen. But everyone, I just wanted to thank all of you for being here today.
Thank you.
Sean, at the top of your screen should be a button.
And
if you go all the way to the top of your screen,
presenting.
You should highlight it.
Okay, there we go. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So there we go. My upskilling skills for this Corona thing needs to be technology based, no doubt. And yeah. All right. Anyone want to have any final words or anything that they want to say?
That was great, John. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute pleasure, gang. And lovely to see so many beautiful faces. And as Carol said, thank you. I just want to make a special mention to Darren, who's doing a spectacular job and keeping our community tight during this time. And yeah, like what an amazing job, hey? A real appreciation for everything you're doing. And you're keeping us healthier and our businesses more vibrant. So much gratitude, my friend.
I would like to just actually add, because I do, I think one of the things I've learned, look, the travel industry has actually died in the complete arse. And
language.
I'll delete this off the recording.
That was English, Sean. That was English.
And one of the, and you know, 4 weeks ago, I was going through every day crying my eyes out in the, and just like for no reason whatsoever. And I think it is because of the stress, you know, having to fly people back home, worried about how they're going to get back, and, you know, they're all stranded. We're not getting paid. We're actually giving all our commission back. So I've lost $15,000 already and still working for nothing. So, but the thing that keeps me going is thinking about resilience. And somebody said to me, how do I want to be seen in 3 months' time or 6 months' time coming out of this? And so the things that I've put in place is, one, being in touch with the people that make me laugh and take the seriousness out of it, because we could all work 12-hour days, Megan, like what you're doing. I understand you'll be going through that right now. But I just had my list, like, you know, I've got my travel list here, 3 pages of it, and I have to go by departure date only and keep it into perspective, and just keep yourself sane by also getting out there and having that long walk. That 1 hour walk a day for me is my sanity check, and just listening to music and the fresh meetings, as Carol said, like they are actually being fun for me. Like I wake up sometimes on a Monday really feeling down in the dumps, but on a Tuesday after I've had a meeting, it's like, oh, I feel really pumped again, and it's like, okay, I can get through this. I think the energy of people will help you, and also reaching out. Sean, Michelle, Shannon and I on Saturday did a Cards Against Humanity online And it was just fun just to have a bit of a laugh, because it is really stressful. We're not getting to see the people that we normally see. And you've got a lot of people also going through hardship, and it's quite depressing. So just always keep it into perspective, though. As I said to Mum, I said, I don't care if I've got no money, because I've got the roof over my head and I've got Mum cooking me awful meals. So everyone could have the worst case scenario.
True. And Darren, you nailed it. I think we also have to ask ourselves, how do we want to be perceived coming out of all of this as well? You know, especially in our businesses. I actually do believe people are going to look back on this time and they will see, like, for example, Megan, people are going to look at you and go, wow, she was there for us. She was amazing. She got us through. So whilst it's so tough right now, I have no doubt that you're going to come out of this in the end, and just, you know, business will boom even more if that's what you want.
I think that you're right. In the middle of it, it's pretty draining, but I know that I am actually doing good.
Yeah.
But I agree with what I'm hearing. I actually need to look after myself in the middle of it, because I am going to fall over.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think just actually knowing that I'm kind of not in my little boat by myself, even though I apologise I was late to join, is actually pretty uplifting. So thank you.
Absolute pleasure. And I feel like, I actually want to just thank you again, Megan, for bringing that level of vulnerability into the group, because I think what can happen in this time is sometimes people fake that everything's okay.
Yeah.
And then that kind of makes everyone feel shit about where they're at too. And we are all going through this to certain degrees. We've all seen, to some degree, our businesses decline. And there is going to be some good stuff that comes out of it, and even right now. So thank you to you for being so real. And I just wanted to do another shout out, just Billy, who's sitting over there. I just want to say that little man over there is an example of a teenager who's just got the most amazing values, and he's going to be someone who's going to grow up into this sensational adult, and he's already like a wonderful man. And Carol, like, well done on raising such a cool guy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. All right.
Just remember as well to do an "Are you okay?" call, because, you know, even if you just focus on one person that you're in your network somewhere, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fresh. It could be anybody, but just give them a call and just let them talk and vent and get it off their chest, and let them tell you that they're having a shit time and it's awful and blah, blah, blah. And then make them laugh, because, you know, we can all make them laugh, and just be there for each other. And I think we'll all get through this, and be the leaders that you are, because I think, you know, we're all good, strong business people. And yeah, we will come out of this, and it will all be good again. So we will be butterflies.
Yes, we will. Yes, we are. All right, gang. So beautiful to see everyone. Hey, have a beautiful day. Make some
Thanks,
good choices.
Shawnee.
Pleasure.
Sean. Thank you.
Pleasure, guys.
Thank you.
Good day. Bye.
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 Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.